Good morning everyone. Welcome back. Today we are going to see how we can calculate the complexity of the various statements such as one loop, nested loop, consecutive loops or consecutive statements. First one is calculating the complexity of one. See here, we are writing for I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n number of times I plus plus. That is, n is a particular constant. The loop is running from 1 to the n, that means n number of times. I am just adding the sum, that means the numbers from 1 to n will be added to the sum. We are just giving it as sum is equal to sum plus I. And then the loop is over. We assume that we have no statements. Whatever it is, the total time taken by all the statements in that loop is considered as t. T number of seconds or something it is consumed. So we calculate the total time taken by the loop as t into n number of times, that is equal to tn, or we say the complexity as O n. The complexity as O. Next we are going to see two consecutive loops. First loop is running n number of times. Second one is also running n number of times. Let us see. For I equal to 1, I less than equal to n number of times I plus plus, sum is equal to sum plus I, one loop I wrote. Again I am writing one more loop. For I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus, writing product is equal to product into I. In both the cases we assume first loop is taking t1 second for the iteration of the complete loop. So we are getting t1 into n number of times there. Second one is also using, the second loop is using t1 time. So this is, we can say, t1 into n number of times, that is t1n and t1n. We can say that the total time taken will be 2 t1n, or we say simply O2n. I think it is clear. Because 2 into t1n, it is written as O2n. Clear? Another one is complexity of calculating nested. So we have a first loop I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. Again one more loop for j equal to 1, j less than or equal to n number of times, j plus plus. This particular one is having few statements consuming t time intervals. Time taken is t. So we say when this internal loop is over, it is working t into n times. Alright. Now we say that it is Tn. When it is in the nested loop, this will be working it as T into n square, that is n into n. That means we say it as Tn square, or simply we say that it is O n square. The complexity of a nested loop. Clear? Next we see the consecutive statements. That can be a single statement, it can be a loop, again it can have a nested loop. Let us see. P equal to P plus 1. This particular one takes T1 time interval. Another one loop for I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Then sum is equal to sum plus I. Every time it takes T2 time interval. So the first one is taking T1, second one will be taking T2n, or we say that it is O n, because we saw already. Third one is a nested loop. For I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. For j equal to 1, j less than or equal to n, j plus plus. We are writing in the statement product is equal to product into j, closing brace. This particular one is taking some time, that is T3, and we saw the complexity of the nested loop is O n square. So our total time taken for these consecutive statements will be, total time will be T1 plus O n plus O n square. So in this case, we are taking the dominant one, which is having the maximum time. Our complexity will be in this case as O n square, which is the dominant term. So this is the way of calculating the complexity of the statements which we are using in the normal calculation. Okay? Now let's go ahead to the complexity of certain other statements by using a table. Just open your textbook and see the portions which I am going to say. And then those statements you have to learn. Okay? Let's proceed. Next we are going to see about the dominant term. Big O notation indicates the growth rate. It is the class of mathematical formula that best describes algorithm's performance, and it is discovered by looking inside the algorithm. Big O is a function with the parameter n, where n is the usual size of the input of the algorithm. More the input size, more impact will be there on the algorithm. Okay, now few common growth rates are given there. And what is the dominant term? The dominant term tells that which is having more priority in that case. When we are saying that a particular algorithm is having a n square plus b n plus c. So in that one, the one is taking maximum in that case. The one which is having more value, that will be considered. Or we can say that which is dominating there, that will be given more priority. Okay, common growth rates are given there. You can see it is listed in a table. You please go through those terms which are given there and their complexity, because they are asked in the examination sometimes. O with 1, it is for a constant, that means the 1 is the time which is used there. O log n, to find the entry in a sorted array. O with n, O means big O. N for the linear search, and O n log n, it is for the divide and conquer, which is the merge sort, quick sort, etc., which we have at the end of this year. O n square for the quadratic equation, as I said, a n square plus b n plus c, where we have the dominant term, that is the O n square. O n to the power 3, that is O n cube, cubic simultaneous linear equations, and O2 to the power n, when it is exponential, that is the towers of Hanoi problem, which you might have studied in the class 11th syllabus in the recursive chapter, or the recursive functions chapter. So these are about the common growth rates by using the dominant term as well as the big O notation. Please read the textbook, and when you are listening this theory, definitely you should have the textbook in front of you. Thank you.